Are you ready to revolutionize your relationship with money? Welcome to the Finding Financial Freedom podcast with the Frugal Physician, where I, Dr. Disha, will be your companion on this exciting adventure. Get ready to conquer debt, build wealth, and embrace a mindful spending lifestyle that will empower you to live life on your own terms. Are you looking for alternative investments in tangible assets that help you build and protect your wealth while empowering your financial future? Look no further than Eckert Enterprises. With over 37 years of expertise in the industry, Eckert Enterprises is your trusted partner in the world of alternative investments and asset management. They have a track record of success with more than 1,300 investors on board and over $700 million in capital invested in tangible assets. Their specialty lies in offering immediate cash flow opportunities through mineral rights investments, so that you don't have to wait decades to see your investments pay off. Their unique AML approach, born from decades of experience, focuses on aggregating, maturing, and liquidating assets strategically to maximize returns. Join Eckert Enterprises. Visit EckertEnterprises.com today to begin your journey towards building and protecting your financial future. Hello, and welcome to the Finding Financial Freedom with the Frugal Physician podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Disha, and today's episode is a special one. We've turned to our Facebook community, the Frugal Physicians, and your emails to bring you a unique segment. I'm answering a few of your questions about managing finances, making smart investments, and seeking out alternative income streams in the world of healthcare. Whether you're curious about DIY groups for physicians, exploring new business models in healthcare, grappling with tough investment decisions, or looking for passive income opportunities, keep listening. These questions come straight from you, our amazing community members. So let's hop in. Okay, so first question. This question is from Mike. What are some ways to make passive income for physicians, especially in healthcare? Okay, first, let's break down active versus passive income. To me, passive income is money that gets made while we're sleeping. Sounds too good to be true? It's actually not at all. Most of us are making passive income right now in our retirement accounts. When we invest our money, it grows day by day, even while we're sleeping. When we invest larger and larger sums of money, that money earns more and more interest, adding back to the principal and compounding on itself over time in an exponential fashion. Over time, these gains can add up to quite a lot of passive income. For passive income you can tap into right now instead of at retirement, consider saving more of your hard-earned active income and invest it outside of retirement in things such as CDs, money market accounts, or good low-cost index funds and brokerage accounts, or in real estate. Those are the traditional investments. Of course, there are other non-traditional investments like arts and commodities and futures that I don't really participate in, but they are available there as well. Make sure you go back and listen to episode 7 and the rest of the Baby Steps series to learn more about the foundational tenets of investing. Investing in real estate that produces positive cash flow each month and appreciates in value over years is one of my favorite ways to earn passive income. Another way to make passive income is to create intellectual property that provides mailbox money. Creating products such as books, courses, obtaining trademarks and patents on inventions and the like can create passive income in the future. It might seem really out of reach, but it really isn't. When you open your mind to things that you can do to better society, ideas that you have, especially as a physician, a lot of people can come up with really innovative ideas that make the whole world a better place and get them trademarked or patented. Active income, on the other hand, in my opinion, is an income that depends on your efforts. Our doctor jobs are one example of that. More often these days, doctors are seeking side gigs or other ways to make income that aren't related to direct in-person patient care. The world of side gigs is vast and includes jobs such as telehealth, expert witnessing, insurance claims reviews, being a product ambassador, giving lectures for pharma. There are many ways to make money outside of medicine that don't involve direct patient care. Outside just the expertise of medicine, more and more physicians are getting into blogging, writing, podcasting, and speaking. Often people don't understand how blogs and podcasts make money, So let's talk on that for a second, because obviously you're listening to this podcast. First, most content creators don't make any significant money for the first couple of years. If that content survives and grows and the creator survives the rigors of producing regular content for a couple of years and their audience grows large enough, then they attract sponsors, and content creators make money by selling ad space, much like any TV or radio programming that you hear. Another way to make money as a content creator is affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing makes money by earning usually a small percentage of a commission every time a marketed product is sold via a link provided by the content creator. That content could be a review or a recommendation of the product. You'll see a lot of affiliate marketing all over social media once you know how to recognize a referral link. Usually it's the site / that person's individual tracking number for the affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing isn't necessarily bad, but it's important to disclose when it's happening. It's used to connect people with things they might be interested in by a person that they trust in a particular niche. But it's not my favorite way to monetize a blog because it requires a lot of marketing and selling. If we do have affiliate links in our blogs, we are sure to disclose that at the top and the bottom of the blog. Another way to earn side income as a content creator is by doing direct contracting work, earning a set amount per article or podcast. I write a column for Practice Link, for example, for their quarterly magazine publication. Writers can get paid per article or per word. Again, this is active income. You're definitely putting in active effort to get some other sort of income. But whether it's passive or active income, most wealthy people do have multiple streams of income. As Robert Kiyosaki describes in his cash flow diagrams, most middle-class people earn income through one source and then spend it on expenses and liabilities. Wealthy people earn multiple streams of income, pay for expenses and liabilities, but maintain enough delta between them to have money left over to reinvest in assets that will produce more income and grow their wealth over time. I think this is a great question because using passive and other active income streams not only helps you grow your wealth, it also brings you peace of mind in knowing that if one of them drops off, that the rest can cover. Next question. This one comes from email. You studied to become a physician. I'm also currently a practicing physician, and I am the only breadwinner, making all the necessary payments to support my family in India, as well as my parents who live with me in the US. I would like help so that if something happens to me, nothing happens to my family. I want to learn about how and why you decided to jump into real estate and how you started. I have zero experience in real estate. Thank you for your inspiring and practical podcast. All the best, Sonali. Sonali, thank you so much for asking this question. It sounds like you're doing a lot. I have been in that position myself, being the sole earner for a couple of years when my husband was a stay-at-home dad. It's not easy. It's a lot of pressure. Good on you for what you're doing. Before we get into real estate, I do want to make sure that you have enough disability and life insurance to cover your family in case anything ever happens to you, God forbid. Now let's talk about real estate. I love real estate for several different reasons. First, how did I get into it? Well, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I learned about the income quadrant that I just mentioned and how most people that are doing well have multiple streams of income. And real estate is a really easy way to get financial stability and wealth in this country because it's so heavily tax incentivized. So first, I started reading books. Rich Dad, Poor Dad was one. The book on rental property investing by Brandon Turner is a good starting point. So you can learn about how to run the numbers, how to identify a good investment and get a good deal by reading these books. The reason I like real estate is, number one, it's tangible and inheritable. I like having an investment that's in front of me that I can go live in, that I can put in sweat equity, meaning going in, doing the work myself, and really seeing the gains of my hard work in front of me. I like being able to take my kids to our rental properties, have them do work, have them see me working on my property, working on building our financial stability and wealth over the years. And I like that when I die, I can pass on these properties to my kids and they'll get a step up in basis on debt, meaning they won't have to pay any taxes on the capital gains that would result from selling the property if they wanted to upon my death, because the cost basis of that property would now be reset to the amount currently worth upon my death. If I were to sell it, I would have to pay capital gains taxes unless I do a 1031 exchange. A 1031 exchange is when I sell a property, an investment property, and buy another investment property within a certain amount of time, and then I can forego those capital gains. So anyway, as you can see, there are many different tax benefits of being in real estate. The tax benefits to physicians especially are huge because we do have a lot of taxable income that we're making on the medicine side. While you cannot use passive income from real estate to offset active income in medicine, traditionally, there are workarounds to that as well. So first, the income that you make passively from real estate can be offset by depreciation, which is an automatic break the government gives you on your taxes just for providing housing for other people. And that's calculated as a percentage of the value of your property. So first of all, you get a tax break starting off. And another way to increase your passive losses is by doing what we call an accelerated depreciation, which really became very advantageous during the Trump administration, but it is being phased out. But in any case, you can take all of the depreciation for that property by doing a cost segregation analysis on all the components of the property, including like the appliances and such, and say they're depreciating by a certain amount every year, and then take all of that depreciation within the first 5 years, for example. And when you do take all that accelerated depreciation, then you get a lot of passive losses that you can use to offset any passive income. So you're inherently or essentially not paying any taxes on that passive income, which is huge. These are strategies and reasons why real estate can be really beneficial. Do note that if you were to sell the property after taking accelerated depreciation, that some of the taxes would be due at that time. But again, there are ways around that. For example, by passing it on to your kids or by doing a 1031 exchange. Now, real estate is very high risk and high reward, right? If something happens to the property, you're on the hook for that. Just regular depreciation and capital costs of replacing the appliances, you're on the hook for that. A lot of people think, rent money is going directly as profit to the owner, and that's usually not the case. First, you have to pay the mortgage and interest payments along with the taxes. And then you have to account for the costs of vacancies, the costs of utilities, the costs of maintaining the property and replacing the appliances. And there are calculators out there on the internet, free and paid, that you can use to calculate these expenses. But the moral of the story is that you're going to get some cash flow. You shouldn't be buying rental property unless you're getting positive cash flow, in my opinion. It's not worth it if you're not getting some positive cash flow. My criteria for positive cash flow is literally just positive. So maybe $100, $200 a month after all the expenses. But as long as the property is cash flow positive, I benefit from the appreciation of the property over time because I'm owning it and it's going up in value. And also the renters are paying down my mortgage and interest. So the renters help me pay the mortgage and interest. Over time, I don't have a mortgage and interest payment anymore once the mortgage gets paid off. Now I have all the appreciation from the property, all the tax benefits from the property, and I still own the property. I can pass it on, right? So this strategy is a long-term buy and hold investment strategy of real estate, and that's my favorite kind. It's high risk and high reward. The types of returns I've gotten from my rental properties are simply unmatched in the stock market. But again, it's a different way to invest. And another benefit of this is that you really do get lots of benefits immediately instead of having to wait years. And also you can get that passive income immediately. You don't have to wait until retirement. And if you're getting into short-term rental investing, then you can actually use the property for vacations and such. So I should mention there are different ways to rent out property. There's long-term renters, meaning several months to a year or more. There's midterm rentals that are at least 30 days of renting. So these are for like travel nurses, traveling doctors, people that have to travel for work and stay in one place for over a month. And then there's short-term rental investing. That's things like Airbnbs. A lot of cities have rules about short-term rentals now because they do sort of challenge the character and integrity of a neighborhood. It starts to feel more like a hotel street rather than a residential street. So they do limit the amount of short-term permits that they're giving out in most major cities. Keep that in mind. But again, I think real estate investing is really fun. It brings me joy to put in sweat equity into my properties. I personally feel a lot of happiness providing housing for other people. When I was a kid, my mom and my sister and I, when we moved here, we lived in very subsidized housing in bad neighborhoods. And it really brings me joy to give other people a solid, nice house to live in and provide that for them. So it aligns with my visions and values for where I want to put my money as well. And we mitigate the risk somewhat by, first of all, having adequate insurance. And we're in the process of putting them in LLCs so that my liability from being a physician doesn't carry over to my rental properties. Oh, and I forgot to mention one other tax benefit of investing in real estate is that if you have a spouse who's a real estate professional, then you can get around the rule where you can't write off the taxes on your active income with your passive losses. If you have one family member who's a real estate professional, then you can. So that can be immensely beneficial to families where that's possible. Another tax benefit of real estate investing is that there's a short-term rental loophole that if you own a short-term rental and do the majority of the work on the property within that year, there are several minutiae criteria there that you need to make sure you meet. But in any case, the short-term rental loophole lets you write off the passive income that you're getting from this property against the taxes owed on your active income. Okay, next question. I made some bad investment decisions. Looking for your opinion. If I sell my stocks, I would have to take a net loss of $280K. I've been holding them for greater than 2 years, but those companies' stocks never come back up. And I don't think those companies will ever recover or break even. I feel like I already lost this much money or it's stuck forever. How to offset these losses or recover from the situation? What would you do in this situation? Thanks for your input. First of all, I'm sorry to hear about your losses. That's tough. We all make mistakes and bad decisions sometime or another. So it's important to forgive ourselves and keep going. Make sure you don't let this define your confidence in your investing. Yeah, it's a lot of loss, but the good news is the United States really incentivizes investing and shares in your losses if you have them. What I mean by that is that even if you take some loss, the government's going to help you offset some of your tax liability by using those losses to subtract from your tax liability. And that's how the United States encourages investing. So if these stocks are held outside of a retirement account, when you sell them, you'll incur some long-term capital losses since you've held them for longer than a year. Long-term losses can be used to offset passive gains in the stock market. So if you have other investments that are doing well, these losses will help decrease your tax burden on the capital gains you might have. Once they offset all the capital gains that you have, if you have more passive losses than your capital gains in a year, Uncle Sam will let you write off up to $3,000 of those losses against your active income that year if you're married filing jointly, or $1,500 if filing separately. So that can help you pay less taxes on your active income this year. Any leftover losses can then be rolled over into future years to continue to offset capital gains or active income up to $3,000 married filing jointly for the years to come. In this way, Uncle Sam is helping you deal with your losses and taking less taxes from you. Of course, if these losses are in retirement accounts, you don't have to worry about capital losses, just reinvest in sensible investments with a reasonable asset allocation. By sensible investments, I mean low-cost, broad-based index funds. Instead of putting all your eggs in one basket, you can spread out your risk by investing in all the companies in an index. Some will win, some will lose, but over time, this method has shown to be superior to individual stock investing time and time again. So go back to the Baby Steps episodes to refresh on asset allocation and portfolio design, and then choose an asset allocation that matches your risk tolerance. And of course, consult a tax professional and perhaps also a fee-only fiduciary financial advisor so you can get all your particular ducks in a row. Good luck and thank you for reaching out. Next question. I was told by a CPA while having a casual chat that he has 700 clients and it's a subscription model. He charges $1,200 per quarter to every client, which is $4,800 per year. He doesn't have any work after hours and is free on the weekends. Is there any similar option in the healthcare business? Thank you. I am internal medicine. Well, that sounds like a really nice scenario indeed. Remember, what people often tell you and show to the outside world, the rosy picture that they present may not be the actual reality every single day. But there are options, especially in internal medicine, where you can have boundaries. The important part of designing your ideal work situation is knowing what you want first. Sounds like you've identified that you don't want to work after hours and you want your weekends free. Well, there are several options for that. Being a hospitalist is one, right? You do shift work and you can choose to pick up shifts that are during regular hours, and then you won't have after hours work. Of course, you have to make sure that the job that you pick up doesn't expect you to do after hours work. As far as the subscription model goes, there is something brewing in the healthcare space that is very similar. Concierge medicine has been around for a long time. This is charging, individual patients on the order of $10,000 to $15,000 a month to be their private physician. But there is a lot of after hours responsibility here. You're basically at the beck and call of your concierge clients. Another model that is taking hold in primary care these days is the direct primary care model. So direct primary care, instead of charging $15,000 a month, charges patients somewhere on the order of $100, $150 a month to provide them with unlimited visits to their doctor, not a guarantee, but a higher chance that the physician will be available to see them when they're actually sick. So direct primary care models generally cap their patient volume to 200, 300, something like that, so that they can actually be there for their patients when they need them. And in this way, they're getting income, that's guaranteed monthly because people are signing a contract to provide monthly payments, and they're able to provide really good primary care to patients. We all know that patient panels of 1,000, 2,000, I've seen up to 4,000 patients per physician is simply not sustainable. And if it is, then you're not providing the kind of primary care that those patients usually need and want. The direct primary care model is really interesting to me in that way. Of course, there are after hours responsibilities here. You would still have to take call after hours. But again, once you've identified what you really want and value, maybe you could outsource that. Maybe you could have an NP or an RN take the call after hours, or maybe even another doctor. If you really value your off time, then you can pay someone else to take that call for you. So there are ways to set up your professional life and outsource responsibility as necessary to make what you want happen once you identify it. For me, actually, I'm part of another alternative primary care model where I provide healthcare to high-risk patients that want to stay in their home, but they really would meet criteria for a SNF or a nursing home. But we make it possible for them to stay in their home by providing them 360 care at their house using the services of PT, OT, nursing, and they come to our center for their day-to-day socializing and activities. And that way we can help them live at home longer. And I really enjoy that. But what I also enjoy is that it is a day-only job. I don't have to take call after hours and I don't have to work on the weekends. Of course, I pick up some hospitalist shifts on the weekends, but I don't have to work at that job on the weekends. So in that way, I found a situation that really works for me. For me, it's very also important to be off when I'm off. I don't do well when I'm on call. So I identified that. And, I don't earn as much as other primary care doctors could because of that. But that's okay. I was able and wanting to make that trade-off to take a little bit less pay for a better lifestyle. So once you identify what you want, you can make it happen by seeking the answer to your question and making the trade-offs that are necessary to make it happen. There are ways to get this similar type of situation in healthcare. Just have to look for it. All right, last question today. Are there any physicians for groups of do-it-yourselfers? I figured this group would know. Pick of my porch that I'm remodeling. I love to do it myself, and I've seen a lot of people posting about doing it yourself on the Frugal Physicians. I think doing it yourself around the house is such a great investment of time. Depends on the thing, though. For example, cleaning, maybe not a great investment of my time. I try to outsource it, especially for parties. I don't outsource it all the time because I do want my kids to learn how to clean and keep a house. But I do outsource it when I'm having people over or I'm working and I just don't have the time. But I do think doing it yourself for cosmetic fix-ups and things around the house can be really awesome. The line that I draw, though, is usually electricity and plumbing. I don't want to mess with that. But other than that, I love painting. Painting, I think, is such a great investment of time because it takes me a day to do what a painter would charge me thousands of dollars for. And I can make sure that the paint is just right and I use high quality paint. Really, painting walls is all about having the right high quality paint. Completely worth the investment, I think, to get high quality Benjamin Moore or Sherwin-Williams paints rather than the bears that you get at Home Depot and such. And that makes a huge difference on how your house looks. So I think the ROI there is amazing. I also love to find antique furniture and then refinish it because you just can't find that quality anymore in furniture unless you pay thousands of dollars. So instead of that, I find, pieces for $100, $200 at the consignment or antique stores and then restore them, refinish them, and then they look like they're worth $1,000, $2,000. And it's great. And I think it's also very therapeutic, to just work with your hands when you have a very cerebral job and see something come alive, with the labor of your hands. So absolutely, we love DIY at the Frugal Physicians. And if you are working on a DIY project around your house, please let us know. Share your progress. I would love to see that and be inspired by your efforts, and be inspired to pick up another refinishing project. I need to find something else to work on right now. So thank you again for sharing, and hopefully we'll see more of you in the Frugal Physicians. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Finding Financial Freedom with the Frugal Physician. I'm Dr. Disha Spath, and it has been an absolute pleasure to explore these insightful questions with you. A big thank you to Cindy, Mike, and our anonymous member, Antonali, for bringing your queries to the table. Do you have a question that you'd like a detailed answer to? Send me an email at thefrugalphysician@gmail.com or post it on our Facebook community. Remember, the journey to financial freedom is unique for all of us, but you're not alone in this. Our community is here to support you and learn from you and each other. For more tips, discussions, and advice, join us on our Facebook group, The Frugal Physicians. And don't forget to visit our website for additional resources. That's www.thefrugalphysician.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share with your colleagues, and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more physicians seeking financial empowerment. Until next time, keep making smart choices, stay frugal, and continue on your path to financial freedom. Goodbye, and stay frugal, y'all. For more information about alternative investments and asset management, visit EckerdEnterprises.com. And remember, Eckerd Enterprises is your gateway to tangible assets and lasting financial success. Contact Eckerd today.
The content shared on this podcast should not be taken as individualized financial advice. We are here to share our knowledge and experiences, but it is crucial to consult with professionals such as accountants, financial advisors, or attorneys who can provide personalized guidance based on your specific needs.